Hey guys, I just wanted to share this moment with you because it's really beautiful in a way. I feel as though my heart is just opening, and I really rarely feel my heart just this full. I dropped off the kiddo with the responsible adults at a Girl Scout booth. She's gonna help sell cookies, and so I'm here at a Starbucks. The first time I went in, and a couple weeks ago, and I had written a poem that I had thought was amazing. But you know how the energy that we attach to something, when we put it out into the world, that's kind of what manifests. Well, it was like I had so much fun writing that poem. I thought it was kind of really cool in a way, one that I enjoyed so much that I was like, you know what, when this happens, it is very rarely received by others well. It's so strange. Like the poems, I'm like, I mean, it's all right. The people are like, oh, this was really good. And then the poems, I'm like, wow, this is awesome, right? I had so much fun writing this. I think it's so cool. It's like, not really my thing. So I was like, I had so much fun writing this that I don't know, the pattern is that it's not going to be received very well. And that's been the case. Anyway, I'm back. And because I've been working more instead of just the one day a week, I've been have had less time to, well, I know we make time for the things that we want. I have carved out less time for my writing. Well, I took this opportunity to go ahead and write, and part of me loves structure. So I have a spreadsheet where I call it my poetry tracker, and I have on there like the 4 poetry prompts or contests in a way, even if they don't have any prize money. And I track that every month, whether or not I submitted something, what the due date is, if then I turned around and shared it on my newsletter and social media, etc. So anyway, I looked to see what the most recent prompt is, and I will hopefully share this with you guys, but it was based on this is by Ekphrastic Review, and it's a poem. Of course, I'm the one that writes the poem. The prompt is a painting by a Ukrainian artist, and it's called Carousel. And I really feel, I don't want to be, I say this in the most humble way possible. I felt really inspired, like it was a gift. Okay, because I'm saying all this, I'm prefacing it by the last, I would say Wednesday and Thursday of this past week were really difficult for me. Moon and Sun both in Pisces. And Pisces, as I explained, is the last sign of the astrological wheel. It is basically death, where we dissolve. There are all these boundaries in the body dissolve and into this truth that we are all one. But when I get dropped into that energy, I feel lost. I feel like life is meaningless. If everything is the same, it's like, what's the point of anything? So anyway, I had already said that on my Instagram story, I created a poll asking if it had been difficult for everyone else as well, and some people not so much. I will say that from what I have heard, and I am by far no expert in astrology, but those people who have water signs in their chart, as like the big three: sun, moon, ascendant, it could be more powerful, the moon's transits, especially for those of us with our sun in Cancer. Cancer's ruling planet is the moon, and so the moon and Cancer is a cardinal sign, so it's all about changing and starting things. And people have this misconception about Cancer being like slow and steady. No, it's about starting things new. And so if you follow the moon cycle, it's constantly having new experiences and new conversations with new energies as the moon cycles through all of 12 in a month's time. So that being said, my sun sign is Cancer, so you look to the ruling planet, and it's the moon, and I think it could also be said for those with their moon in Cancer as well. But yeah, it was really difficult, and I had talked about creating some type of Pisces survival kit, and I don't think that that's being too melodramatic. I just don't. I don't know how much of that plays into my astrology signs being Cancer, but I already struggle with feelings of worthiness and these existential crises. So sat down, saw this painting, and I felt like this gift of inspiration. And I'm just feeling it again. My heart just... Take a look at the picture, the painting. And of course, this is such a rough draft. I haven't gone back and changed it anything, but I'm going to name this poem either Life's Carousel Ride or The Song of Pisces. So please feel free to weigh in which one you like better or feels more accessible to you, piques your curiosity. But just look at that as I read. There's no use looking ahead to see where we're going. It all returns to itself. It's all the same. There is no one further ahead, none further behind. It just is. We are the same. To look ahead is to chafe at the speed, never getting ahead, always reaching a ceiling before plunging down. Only the sight of someone else's horse's rear end in your face. The magic is out there. Ride side saddle with me and care not where we go, for it matters not. Let us behold with open faces the scenery that changes, the different people who walk by, the conversations heard, the dreams that are dreamt, as everything flows, ever forward. For though we end up where we started, we never go backwards. We can't. We flow. We experience the highs and lows of life's carousel ride, not as success and failures, but just different vantage points. Different ways of seeing the same damn thing. We flow. Okay, so when we when I got to the part where, for though we end up where we started, we never go backwards, that's where a part of me broke open, and I was thinking about my ex-husband who ended up committing suicide. I just wonder how much Piscean energy he had in his chart, because he was such a dreamer. Kind of like they said with the Pisceans, they have like, they're so soft, they have no boundaries. And I feel like he just experienced life as so hard because he had no shell. Everything was so raw. I know his sun sign was Cancer. But I just wonder, I don't know, guys. I had a QHHT session in which I asked, like, where is his soul? And is there anything that I can do to help if somehow he is like stuck on this plane, or how can I move that forward, like help him? And the answer I got was that I wasn't ready to hear. I wasn't ready. But something about that, we can never go backwards, it just brought up that. Because sometimes we want to get off the damn ride, right? Sometimes it's too much. So with all his creativity and sensitivity, you know, he would write songs and play them on his guitar. The flip side of that is confusion. Now, I alluded to that before, like how I experienced the Piscean energy. So I just feel this invitation to like really if in a way it is meaningless, then I want to be the one that's riding side saddle on this damn carousel ride. You know, not stuck in the matrix, looking ahead. Always comparing myself to and falling short, or maybe feeling good about myself in comparison just to, you know, fall back down. So in order to get out of that matrix thing, if we can look out and see the beauty around us, I just feel a lot of compassion for myself, for him, for everyone who's like been disillusioned by life. And I'm just trying to, I guess, maybe let some of this grief come up and express it. Thank you guys, if you're watching, for allowing me to get this out of my body and into a safe place outside of myself, so I don't have to carry this and then maybe each time it does come up, it's a little less painful. Anyway, regardless of whether or not this poem is received as the divine inspiration that I feel it is right now, again, it doesn't matter. I have felt profoundly impacted by this painting and the words that the magic I was crafting with my little fingers. I don't know, I was sitting here before I got all emotional, and I was like tapping what was coming through up, and I can see my hands reflected in the screen, and I was like, I don't know, I don't really have a lot of kind self-talk to myself, but I was like, oh, usually I feel like my fingers are like really short and stubby, but I was like, oh yeah, look, they actually look kind of nice, and I'm like, yeah, that's me. I'm weaving my magic with words, and I'm a word magician. And then anyway, as I was writing, I just felt again like my heart just split open. Anyway, thank you for witnessing me. And I'm just feeling another wave. Feeling another wave come through. So I am going to stop the video, and I'm just going to continue to be with my breath for a little bit. Anyway, love you guys.